I can't do this. I cannot do this. And he was like, come on, Annie, you can. I'm like, no, I can't. You don't understand. I'm dehydrated. Well, how can you be dehydrated? We have been drinking nonstop. That's just it, Ed. It's going straight out my bag. It's not staying in my body. And I was literally just almost crawling. And we parked all the way down to where you loop around the whole area. And I mean, it took everything out of me completely because I wasn't getting the proper hydration. I needed my IV fluids because IV fluids go straight into your bloodstream. They hydrate the cells, and that's not what was getting hydrated. Because of the way my body works now, I was not getting hydrated. I don't. Hey everyone. So there has been a lot of things that's been going on in our nation today, and I really have not thought about anything, and I really haven't been doing a lot of vlogs, and a part of that has been because I have not been feeling very well, and a part of that has to do with my illnesses. You know, you never really think about your illnesses until you're in bed and you're back and forth from the living room and the bathroom and your bedroom, because that's the only places you go. And you know, and here it is, your birthday, and you don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to see anybody. You just don't want to go anywhere. A whole weekend went by, and I felt no desire to go anywhere, do anything. Didn't need anything from the grocery store. Didn't really need anything from Sam's, so there was no reason to get out other than go get the mail, and well, the mail still be there today. And so I really felt no big urge to vlog. I did put up a PowerPoint presentation, and I did some Twitter, I did some Facebook, but I didn't really do a lot, and that is unbecoming of me. That's not me. I've been more tired lately. I mean, I get out and I'll walk to stretch my legs, and I don't feel good anymore. And I need to make some doctor appointments and see what all is going on with me. And I know that what my blood work is showing, and I know I need to go see the cardiologist, and I need to go see somebody about my liver. I have a really good PCP, but she's not addressing those issues. And when I keep seeing these issues in my blood work continuously and nothing's being addressed, then I need to take it upon myself to get these issues taken care of. I don't need to wait on my PCP to say, well, you know, we need to do something about this, when I've already said something to her about it, and she wants to wait until June to see me again, and I'm not going to do that. This is my life. I've already got enough organs that are failing and have failed, and so it's time to go see what needs to be done about this. I'm not a fan of doctors. None whatsoever. I have 7 or 8 of them right now on my payroll. I don't need another one or 2. I need to go see my gynecologist, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him. I think I might go get another one in the same group of doctors that all my other doctors are with. You know, I'm just like everybody else with a lot of issues. I don't like going to doctors. I really don't. And being an adult female, I am a procrastinator. I don't think I used to be a procrastinator. I was always a procrastinator when it came to the gynecologist. There was nothing wrong with me. I didn't need to go. But, you know, when you've got a lot of cancer in your family, and heart disease, and lung disease, and, you know, all of this, that really does not make a doctor seem very likely your friend, because it means you gotta go see a doctor more frequently. And so now I have 2 other issues that I need to have addressed, which requires an additional doctor that I need to see. Now, my husband's seen, I have a urologist. I don't need a kidney doctor. I need a liver doctor. So, and I think I'm going to go see an endocrinologist about my hormones. I think that's another issue that I need to address as well. I am in menopause, and you know, there's just some things that so much that a PCP can do, and I see a physician's assistant, and there's only so much that she can do, that she can write scripts for, that she has to send you to somebody else. And so instead of her sending me to somebody else, I am going to get a referral on my own for somebody else. I don't need a referral, but I prefer that the doctors that I see give me the referral, because that keeps me in a very good chain of doctors that are like the best in Louisville. And so that is what I'm going to do. I never changed my PCP because she's an awesome doctor. Our physician assistant, what do you want to call her? She's awesome. She's great. She's been with me through everything. But there's just some things that she can't do, and so I need to do this. And I'm just not really looking forward to it. I don't like being poked and prodded on, and you know, now, definitely, for sure, nobody can draw my blood in the labs after still having bruises after the many IVs they tried to get and blew in less than 12 hours, and the blood draws that they tried to get and the veins blew. And here it is 2 weeks after being discharged from the hospital, and I still have bruises on my arms from all the IVs and blood draws they tried to get, because my port couldn't be accessed. So a lot of the doctor's offices are now not allowing the your nurse practitioner or whatever draw your blood, and I have came across some that won't even let me draw my own blood, and to me that is completely ridiculous. I access my own port, I make sure I have blood return. I pretty much know what I'm doing here, people. I can draw my own blood. It's nothing. It's very easy to do. Just give me the darn things and let me do it. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's. I don't think it's Kentucky's law. I think it is on the management of the doctor's offices. So, I know whenever I go see all of my main doctors, my surgeon, my GI, my urologist, all of those is in that. They send me to U of L's lab. And at the lab, there are no RNs. So, I have to have an authorization for them to access my port. Then they have to get an RN from the ER to come over and get my blood. It is such a dilemma. And you know, sometimes I think that maybe if I had, maybe I should just go ahead and get VNA to come just to get my labs. I don't know. It's a pain in the butt. So anyway, I don't know. You know, I'm just ranting right now, I think. Well, maybe it's not even ranting. I don't know. I'm just letting loose. But on the flip side, my port is working very well. I've got good blood flow. It's flushing very well. I have no problems. I am running my fluids. Some days I don't run at all because some days I retain the fluid, and I don't need to be retaining the fluid. So when I start to see this happening, I stop the fluids, and then I will return the next day with a fresh bag. I don't know. But as you guys seen, I do have on one of my own designed t-shirts that are for sale in the link below. And I did not realize whenever I chose the collars that perhaps I should have done them in white, the design, because I picked purple and green. I picked purple because one is Crohn's. It's recognized with Crohn's. It's also recognized with a few other diseases that are invisible. And so that's why I picked the color purple. I also picked the color green because of gastroparesis. I'm not sure of any other diseases that are invisible that uses green. But I'm positive that gastroparesis is. And then there's a few more other colors, but I did find out by ordering my own that purple does not enhance the color blue. So heads up, if you like to color purple blue color, the purple color, just know that the logo is not going to show up that well. It is a nice shirt. They are true to size. I got an extra large. I got an extra large because I am very, very big busted. I'm a double D. If I hadn't been a double D, I probably could have worn a large and had way more than enough room for me. But since I am a double D, I still have way more than enough room for me. And these have all been pre-washed, and then I brought them home. When I got them, I washed them again before wearing. So there's plenty of room in the extra large if you are a double D. And then my husband's is the one that's the black, and it's over my shirt, and it is a 2XL tall. There are sizes in tall, because I know a lot of things do not come in tall, and we have our husbands who are 6'3" and taller that we have a hard time finding things to fit them because they are tall. So they do come in, I think this one comes in a hoodie. I'm not sure about a tank. I can't remember. But I know this comes in the t-shirts and the hoodies. The other one that should be in the mail today comes in t-shirts, tanks, and hoodies. And it also has Girl Without Guts at the bottom. The one that I have on now, I was able to set up for some of the proceeds to go to Wounded Warriors. For some reason, the other one, I don't know if it was because I used an emoji, but it wouldn't let me set it up to go to a charity. So what I thought I would do was, we have a Cosaires for Children hospital here downtown in Louisville. I would just give it to Cosaires. So anyway, that one's really, really cute. It has a monkey that had see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and it's the little monkey with his hands covered up. He's peeking underneath, and it is, if you can't see it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist or something like that. But it means, like, because our illnesses, our diseases are invisible, so because it's invisible doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Well, to a lot of people, because you can't see us being sick, it's not visible to the outside world. So a lot of people dismiss it. They don't think that it's there. They don't think it's real. They think we make it up. Well, in a matter of fact, is that a lot of people that are handicapped, a lot of times they were injured or they were born that way, and they may have other issues, but their main issue is they can't walk. So we get judged on the fact that we can walk, but we are battling every single day our own body. We fight our own body every day, and that's not what they see. Or we get a comment like, well, you, and Chronically Jackie said this perfectly, and I saved it and I liked it. Said, not feel guilty about your good days. And you know what? She was never so right about this, because I've said this many, many times. Not on YouTube, because I first came out on YouTube back in, I want to say 2014, because it's when we moved from the other side of Clearwater over to this side into a bigger apartment. I brought out how to insert your access and de-access your port, how to flush it, how to do this and how to do that. And then I never said anything else again until like a year or so later, whenever I got when I was going through the process of a temporary gastric stimulator, and then I went into the permanent, and I was trying to get over the shyness of being out there on YouTube world and for millions of people to see me. And so the one thing she said was, and I got this from a lot of people, well, not really a lot of people, a few people, was that, well, you're not sick, you're just making it up because you go and you do things whenever you want to. Okay, back it up a moment, because the things that I do, you guys see, because those are the times that I feel good. Those are the times that I go out and I feel good. I do go out and have to turn around within an hour and come back home because I feel like shit. So people, yes, people see the days that those of us whose illness you cannot directly see, you see the days that we feel good because we are out, we are doing, they're not planned things. My husband and I went to Kentucky Kingdom. Used to be part of Six Flags, no longer is after a huge lawsuit. Anyway, so we went to Kings Island. We went to Kentucky Kingdom 2 years ago. We had season passes. I had gone 1 or 2 times with my best friend and her daughter. And then a second time with when Kentucky State Fair was here. We went, but we didn't walk all over the park, and it was us 3 women. We did the rides. It was like just right in front of the park. We didn't walk all the way to the other side of the park, over the road, and we didn't go nowhere near there. And it didn't seem like the days that we went that it was that hot. We stayed a lot where it had a lot of shade, close to the bathrooms, close to where you could refill your, I bought a souvenir cup, so I got like 89-cent refills, and where we were close to the bathrooms and close to water fountains, and they had like these little things where you stuck your cup up underneath it, you got ice and water, and you could refill it like that. And so I was trying my hardest to stay hydrated, and a lot of times if you drink some pop, it has sodium in it, so it helps retain fluids. I was buying Powerade, everything. I didn't get dehydrated. My best friend parked as close as she could, and so anyway, my husband and I went. It was hot that day. We walked all the way down to the roller coasters, and I was already feeling it. We had already went through, since I had already bought the souvenir cup, we took it back, and we got, you know, cheap drinks. Plus we had our season passes, and so we were walking, and we were on our way back, and I was like, I had to keep stopping. I'm like, Ed, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And he was like, come on, Annie, you can. I'm like, no, I can't. You don't understand. I'm dehydrated. Well, how can you be dehydrated? We have been drinking nonstop. That's just it, Ed. It's going straight out my bag. It's not staying in my body. And I was literally just almost crawling. And we parked all the way down to where you loop around the whole area. And I mean, it took everything out of me completely, because I wasn't getting the proper hydration. I needed my IV fluids, because IV fluids go straight into your bloodstream. They hydrate the cells, and that's not what was getting hydrated. Because of the way my body works now, I was not getting hydrated. I don't hydrate like a normal person. And so I know that when I'm at home, I run my fluids. But the moment that my hands start to swell up, I stop them, because my cells have enough fluid, and I don't need that extra, because sometimes you can get fluids around your heart, and sometimes you can get congestive heart failure, and I have seen that in my chart. So I'm very, very careful about my hydration fluids. And I don't drink a lot of caffeinated drinks. I drink a lot of Kool-Aid, tea. I drink a lot of non-caffeinated drinks. I will drink a Mr. Pibb a day, because if your body is used to a caffeinated drink, you will get a headache from withdrawals. And not only do I drink it for that reason, I really don't drink it for that reason. I drink it for the energy boost. If I find myself really, really lethargic, then I'm like, you know what, I probably needed that Mr. Pibb, but I won't drink it very late in the night. But we did the same thing when we went to Cedar Point. The last time we went to Cedar Point, 2014, I'd been in the hospital a lot already, and I had just came out of the hospital in June. I had to get a port, and we were in Ohio in July of 2014. My port was new. It was newly healed, and we went to Cedar Point. It was me, my husband, and my son, and I had the same problem in Cedar Point. My body just couldn't keep up. It couldn't do what it, normally did. And so with all that, I was still hooked up to a pole with my hydration fluid. I kept wishing that there was a way for me to get my hydration fluid, enjoy my day without feeling sick, nauseated, and not being able to enjoy anything because I needed hydration fluid and oral fluids were not enough. So finally, I had this great idea that, if I had a small pump and I had a backpack, that would work out great. Well, I never did come across the idea of doing it, but I came across it on YouTube. Once again, Chronically Jackie, and got the backpack and changed over to On the Go. And that has honestly made my life 100% better. And unless you have ever done or gone through being stuck to an IV pole because your entire life revolves around being on a pole for 10 hours straight for the rest of your life, you will never understand it. Invisible diseases, illnesses get a bad rap. We are judged. We're judged by the entire handicapped community, because if someone walks out of their car parked in a handicapped spot and they can't physically see a handicap, if they are approached about why they are parked in that parking spot, or a dirty note on their car windshield. And this is why we have got to make an awareness about it. Just because we can walk does not mean that, at that time, the person can walk from their car to the store and in the store. I see people all the time that will park in a regular parking spot, but then go in the store and get in one of those handicap little hover around things. Well, they're not parking in a parking spot that's for handicap. They're just using the thing, and still they get bad looks. Well, who are you to judge? Nobody can judge anybody for something that they do because they are sick, because they are handicapped. I've used one while I was very, very sick. first time out of the hospital, and you know, it wasn't mine, it was somebody else's. But you know, I didn't use it to park in our parking spot. I parked away, and you know, I really should have used it because I didn't have the strength. And that was the whole point in her wanting me to take the extra one, was because she knew I didn't have the energy. I was still sick. I was in the hospital for over a month on my deathbed. Even the doctors didn't even know I was going to make it or not. And you know, people today are so quick to judge, so quick to jump on anybody about anything that they do. So, you know, next time you see somebody that's parked in a handicapped parking spot, don't jump to the idea that because they don't pull a wheelchair out of their vehicle to get in does not mean that they don't have an invisible handicap, invisible illness that you know nothing about. Because trust me, there probably is one. And, you know, we all don't look alike. And they all don't look, and all the invisible handicaps and diseases do not look alike. So, that is the whole point in these designs that I have made up, is to spread awareness. Because, you know, I'm one of these people that fall in this category, and I am very, very sick of this. You know, and, you know, even in the hospitals, if you are on a floor with people that do not normally take care of somebody that has, especially Crohn's disease, gastroparesis, anything IBD, and you ask for pain medicine, or your Finnegan, for instance, they question you. They treat you like you are a druggie. They treat you like you are drug seeking. And there are places like that. When Norton Hospital downtown has too many patients in the main hospital, they send you to Overflow, which is in the women's pavilion, where they do like plastic surgery and things like that. It's not a normal hospital floor. Actually, it's 2 floors. And so they treat you like you're a drug seeker. They don't treat you like you are a real patient that has real issues. And at no time are they ever to make you make a decision between your Finnegan and your pain medication. And they did that to me one time. And they did it because I wasn't acting right. And the problem with that is that I had a really, really nasty, long name urinary tract infection that nobody ever decided to take care of until I brought it up. Then they figured, oh, well, yeah, this is why she was acting so strange. You think? Because urinary tract infections can make somebody act abnormally. And so, you know, and I've not only been over there with a bad urinary tract infection and with my, you know, gastroparesis and Crohn's disease really flaring up really, really badly, but also with a really bad urinary tract infection. And that just goes to show you the difference, even in hospitals, on different floors that don't take care on a regular basis somebody with an invisible illness. And you know, I've even crossed some of these nurses on other floors who have had to do a turnaround on taking care of me because they're not on their floor. They're filling in on another floor in the big hospital. I've even been transferred from the big hospital because they close a lot of times on the weekends because, of course, they're not doing any plastic surgery on the weekends, and most of their patients come in like on Monday mornings and they leave, and so they close that floor and they send everybody back over to the big hospital. So yeah, you know, even in the hospitals, you know, we get judged. So, you know, my last visit, everybody was great. It was, you know, it was nice. You know, I was in there over my port. You know, my diagnosis was cellulitis of the wall, chest wall. I don't know. They kept giving me vancomycin. They wanted to make sure whatever it was gone. The only thing I ever asked for was nothing more than what I do at home. Was to increase my Phenergan, which they were giving me 12.5 every 6 hours, which was not managing my nausea. I take 25 milligrams every 3 hours at home to manage my nausea. I didn't ask for it unless I needed it. They did not start me on any IV fluids. I asked for IV fluids. I got that. And Benadryl, because the vancomycin turned me into a red woman. I broke out, and that's just a reaction to the vancomycin. I got Benadryl. And so we had a routine going with the vancomycin. 30 minutes before I got my vancomycin, I got my Phenergan and I got my Benadryl, and that kept all of that to the side because whenever they started they started Ansep and then the vancomycin right after, and as I was getting the vancomycin, I was moving upstairs, and when I got into my bed, my head just started itching like crazy. I swear to God, I thought I had lice. I thought I'd done caught lice from the ER. So then my husband was looking at me, he's like, no, Anna, your whole body is turning red. So we got some Benadryl right away. But no, I had no need for pain medicine. I had no need for anything else. All I asked for was my IV hydration, Benadryl, and for my Phenergan to be increased, and for my IV Phenergan to be increased, because PO Phenergan does nothing. It sits in my stomach. It doesn't get absorbed. It goes nowhere. So I got those, and I was good to go. No problems. But they still kept me for 5 days. So, you know, it's just amazing at the different places, the different, you know, and how people treat you. You know, and it's great whenever you come on to like YouTube, or, you know, you find a Facebook page, group that accepts you because they are also going through the exact same things. And that was why I made my group on Facebook, because I wanted for everybody to know what the ugly face of Crohn's disease was. I wanted them to know. I wanted them to see, because whenever I did my Facebook page, I wanted to spread awareness. And another big reason was because I was having all these surgeries, and I would go online trying to find videos, pictures on what these surgeries were, but I was not getting any feedback. I wasn't getting what I wanted. So in my page, I was bringing to it the things that I was unable to find. And I have had certain people who are not members of my page make comments about how certain pictures don't belong on Facebook. But, you know, if they feel that way, then they shouldn't be on my page. That was the whole purpose of my page, is to spread awareness, to show people the realities of Crohn's disease, what it really does to people. That, you know, this is what a total proctocolectomy looks like. This is what it looks on your backside. This is what a surgery looks like. This is all the tubes. This is how I'm cut. You know, that's what I brought to my page. This is what people want to see. They don't want to hear, oh yeah, well I got cut and blah, 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 blah. They want to see it. That's what I wanted to see. And I'm sure that's what everybody else wants to see too. They're like me. People don't go on Google to find all the good junk. People want to go on there. They want to see the guts and glory. They want to see what is actually happening. And that's what I brought. And for the people that thought that it shouldn't be on Facebook, well then, you know, my thing to them was, get off my page. If you don't like it, then get off. Because this is what it is. And, you know, I try bringing some humor into it. And, you know, I don't put the things that are on my Facebook page on my regular Facebook. When I'm in the hospital, oh, I update everybody that I'm in the hospital. This is what's going on. That's everything. I do that every time I'm in the hospital. But as far as everything else, it goes on my page. Family members, I send them an invite. If they accept it, they accept it. Then they know everything. If they don't accept it, then they don't know everything. They don't know the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's only those people that join on their own, join through my Facebook, join through a families, that have seen it through my family, or my family has said, you know, you might enjoy this page since you have Crohn's disease, or because you have gastroparesis. That is what this is all about. It's about spreading awareness, and that is what my YouTube page is about. I mean, I've got a Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and an email account. I'm not out begging people to follow me. I'm not begging people to subscribe to me. I'm not doing any of that. If anybody wants to know anything, I'm an open book. I've got plenty of years of nursing underneath my belt. I didn't even know really what Crohn's was until I was diagnosed. I heard about it, but I never asked questions. Okay, it's a bad disease, it's nasty, it's this, that, and the other. I didn't know what it was. Gastroparesis. It was brought up, I think it was brought up in 2012, and my surgeon was treating the symptoms, but I never got diagnosed until 2016. And then I got my implant last July. So, you know, immediately when we were unsure if I had ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, I was looking everything up. I went on the ulcerative colitis diet and was working. And with ulcerative colitis, there is a diet. You can go by a diet and you can control your symptoms. However, one of those things is taking carbs out of your diet. Well, I was working at the time, and let me tell you, oh, I can cut carbs, don't bother me one bit, but when you're working and you have a very strenuous, demanding job, cutting carbs is not a good idea. Not only was I cutting carbs, but I was not able to keep anything in me. I lived in the bathroom. And in nursing, you just cannot do it, especially if you're working in a nursing home. I had to keep my cell phone on me at all times to let people know where I'm at and what I'm doing, especially if they called me over the intercom. And so then, you know, I had the markers for Crohn's, but I hadn't had my test results come back yet. I mean, I already had the fistulas, I already had, I had everything. But to be sure, I had a test. I don't know if it was I do not know if it was a Prometheus test, like the first one. I had to go get blood drawn, had to be sent to California, but I think it was a Prometheus test. And then I had a second one done, and so anyway, I was diagnosed in 2009, and so anyway, but I've had it my whole life and just was never diagnosed right. I mean, you know, diagnosed with IBS. How many people get that all the time? And it just didn't show its ugly face until way before 2009. I was literally losing weight like nothing. I could go out and buy a new pair of jeans and would be out of those within a month. I couldn't keep up with the amount of weight that I was losing. And so, you know, I think the amount of stress and everything else I was under really made it appear really, really fast. And but, you know, a lot of us get misdiagnosed very often, and unless you have a good doctor, you know, it's just not going to get diagnosed. And that's what happened. You know, I was done in the 80s, and it really wasn't talked about, discussed, diagnosed. And in the 90s, well, I was pregnant and working, and I lost a crap load of weight then too. I lost like 40 some odd pounds. And then from then on, I was up and down with my weight, and sick all the time. And so, you know, and I go back and I look at my pictures, and I'm just like, you know, you were sick with the stomach flu for weeks at a time. That is not normal. So, you know, it is very common to be misdiagnosed. And so, you know, we have to spread awareness about Crohn's. We have to spread awareness about gastroparesis. And we have to spread awareness for invisible diseases, for invisible handicaps, because if we don't, nobody else will. Nobody else is going to stand up for those of us who have these invisible illnesses and diseases and handicaps, because as long as we don't, we're still going to get kicked over to the side and ignored and talked about and made fun of and have notes put on our cars, because what they can't see, they don't know or understand or don't want to care or don't want to know about, because all they know is that, yes, I can't walk, and yes, I need a wheelchair, and so you don't need to be taking that parking spot because somebody else that can't walk needs that parking spot. So what they don't know and understand, they will never know and understand unless we let them know. So that is my blog for today, and my camera is about ready to die because it's not been plugged up for the last couple of days. And if I have offended anybody, you know, guess what? It's the United States of America. This is my First Amendment right, and I am not letting anybody stop me from any of my amendments. Just be glad I'm not talking about my Second Amendment today. So you guys have a good day, good night, and I will see you in the morning.